34 degrees out, with a consistent wind pressing against the rowers. Crews are aligned. We have final alignment. Crews are aligned. And we're off. Brown, very quick off the start. Brown has been quick off the start in every of their open women's boats today. Brown is up by 4 seats on Princeton and Michigan. Michigan and Princeton are level. Princeton C is 1 boat length behind. They are bow deck to stern deck with both Princeton B and Michigan B. Brown is pulling away. Brown is stern deck to bow deck with both Princeton and Michigan, and they may have a bit of open water now. Brown consistently has been very quick off the start. Now Michigan is moving. Michigan is up on Princeton by a seat, still behind Brown. Princeton and Michigan are duking it out. A little bit of open water behind Brown, who's far ahead. Princeton C is now a full boat length behind the field, behind Princeton B and behind Michigan B. And we have now crossed the 250 meter in marker. Brown is still nudging away. Michigan B and Princeton are duking it out. Seems as though Michigan is 1 seat ahead. Brown looking very composed, just nudging away. Brown is traditionally very good at the start of their seasons, and they have been so in history's past. Michigan and Princeton now. Michigan's is up by 2 seats, 3 seats on Princeton. Still about a boat length of open water down off of Brown, and we're through the first 500. All crews moving through the first 500. Brown continuing to open up that lead. Michigan moving on Princeton now. Princeton C about 2-3 boat lengths behind the field. Seems though Princeton is now moving on Michigan. Princeton has come back. They are level. Princeton B and Michigan B are level. Brown is still ahead by a length and a half of open water. Princeton is now moving on Michigan. Princeton is a seat up on Michigan. Now passing the 750 in marker. Princeton still moving. 3 seats up on Michigan and moving. Brown a consistent 2 lengths of open on Princeton. Michigan is now falling behind. Princeton has 1 length on Michigan. Princeton is still 2 lengths of open behind Brown. Princeton C has dropped back to 4 or 5 boat lengths behind the field. Brown moves through the 1,000-meter marker. The wind is definitely picking up here. There's a stiff headwind, a very cold, stiff headwind, making the conditions very difficult for the rowers. Both Brown and Princeton seem to be faring nicely. Michigan as well. And Brown continues to push away. Princeton is still a length up on Michigan. Princeton C is dropping about 6 boat lengths behind. Seems as Princeton is moving. Princeton is still pressing up on Michigan. Princeton C, about 7 lengths behind. Princeton B in lane 1, Brown in lane 2, Michigan in lane 3. Brown is up on Princeton, Princeton is up on Michigan, and Michigan is up on Princeton C, which is very far behind. They're still moving. They're about 8 lengths, if not 9, behind. The action is all Brown. Princeton has moved considerably on Brown. They have moved seemingly a boat length of open ahead of Michigan and are about 2 boat lengths down on Brown. Final 500 here. Princeton seems charged and ready and moving ever so slightly on Brown's lead. All right, we are approaching the final minute of the race. All crews are picking up their stroke rates. Brown and Princeton are in their sprint. Michigan is in its sprint. Princeton is trying to inch up on Brown, stroke by stroke. Brown is still up by a considerable margin, about 1.5 lengths of open water. Princeton is opening up on Michigan, however. They are up by at least 1.5 lengths of open. And we are in the red buoys. The rowers can probably hear the stands. They can probably hear those on shore. Here we go. It's the final 30 strokes of the race for Brown. Final 30 for Princeton now. And about 35 strokes left for Michigan. Brown is still 1.5 lengths up. Seems as though they're going to maintain their lead all the way to the finish. Princeton is slightly pulling away from Michigan as they sprint. Final 10 strokes for Brown. Final 15 for Princeton. About 20 left for Michigan. And Brown is through. Princeton quickly to follow. There we are. Michigan. Princeton C is still in the red buoys. They have about 35 to 40 strokes to go. Moving through. Repping the orange. Final 10. There we are.